So Hamish, firstly, it's already been a wonderful summer and 2024 overall for track and field. How delighted have you been with the success in Rome and Glasgow, which is built upon last summer's positive championships in Budapest?
Yeah, thanks. Well, look, it's been a really special time for our sport. But I guess the one point I'd like to make is it hasn't been an overnight sensation. This has been building for a number of years, and it's a reflection of the investment, the work that we've put into it, led by Paul McNamara, our high performance director, and a lot of other factors coming together. So look, we're excited going into Paris, especially on the back of Rome. It's a special time, as I said, and look, fingers crossed for the nation. It's a special time as well, because you saw in Rome how special it was. The country literally stopped to see those races, and it was incredible.
Was it slightly disappointing, though, that our first gold medal at the European Championships for over 25 years wasn't live on national TV?
Yeah, look, it was very disappointing. Look, for the 4 minutes of coverage that it would have taken, it would have been a special evening. Look, we appreciate commitments were made elsewhere by television broadcasters, but look, it's something we need to work on for the future to ensure that the nation doesn't miss out on those opportunities. Yeah.
Do you feel that the sport needs to be taken a little more seriously now?
Definitely, and I think, look, there's been a lot of media coverage and articles around the following that athletics has in Ireland. You know, it's ingrained in the DNA of the Irish nation, and I think that's a reflection of where it came from, you know, and what was born out of athletics in terms of the Gaelic Athletic Association, and so those roots run deep, if that's a way of putting it, Will, and I think that there's certainly a love for athletics, and we want to see that shared with the nation.
We certainly have a good crop of athletes, something you kind of touched on with Paul and McNamara and the work that's been done over the past few years. Do you feel that we've made big strides to modernise the sport and to get to a position where we can be competitive on a consistent basis at major championships across various disciplines?
Definitely. I think, look, we've made giant strides, but I think the hardest part in development of any system is the final smaller steps that you need to make to refine and develop the system. So look, just the system has changed radically in the last cycle, in the last 4 years, through additional coaching, through additional sports science provision, through additional resources, but we need more. You know, and how do you implement more resources? It requires funding, and I'm not going to throw it back and say that we need more funding through Sport Ireland. We need to do that ourselves. We are doing that ourselves. We've got a fantastic sponsor in 123.ie. We have another very large sponsor joining us in 25, which is very exciting as well, and that's a reflection of the strength of the sport and people wanting to be part of it. So no, it's really exciting times for us. I think that the sport of athletics is more than just high performance as well. We're about participation and moving people. You know, we want a healthy nation that's motivated and activated and inspired by athletics, and so a big part of what we do outside of high performance is participation in programs as well. So that's why we sort of feel that we do deserve more and need more to work across both aspects of that participation and performance cycle. But look, we have a very strong relationship with government and Sport Ireland. We're working on that. I believe there will be increases, and I'm also a great believer that things need to be done incrementally and sustainably. You know, you could ask any high performance program director, what would they spend the money on if their budget was doubled? And they would always have something to spend it on, but then they'd want more again and again. It's the nature of the beast, it's all consuming, high performance, yeah.
Is there a realistic target? As in, if we're looking at a figure in comparison to other countries, I know New Zealand, a country very close to your heart, they decided a few years ago to increase their budgets. We've seen the results on the track. We saw the medals they got in Glasgow at the World Indoor Championships from a country that doesn't have a huge history in track and field. So if the budget is increased, does that, do you think, in your expertise, equal better chances and more medals?
Definitely better chances and hopefully more medals, but there's no guarantees with medals. No, it's interesting that we often benchmark ourselves against the New Zealand system, similar population, similar demographics, similar culture, and certainly the New Zealand government do fund high performance sport in New Zealand a lot more generously than here in Ireland. That's a historical function that the New Zealand government market the country on the success of their sporting prowess, and that's a big part of how they do it and what they do it. I think that our government are seeing the benefits of that. I would like to think that our budgets will increase for the next number of years, and the government have made a commitment to that in the national sports policy. So we're moving in the right direction, although we'd all like to move a little bit faster some days. Well,
I have to ask you then, on top of that, if your budget was doubled tomorrow, what would be the first thing you would do?
Well, that's a big question. You're putting me on the spot now, but look, we need a lot more coaches, we need a lot more expertise in our system. We have 7 full-time staff members in our high-performance system. And that's a big system with 70,000 members. So there's a pathway system as well as the 12 to 15 international events that our athletes go away to every year. So across an Olympic cycle, up to 60 international events. So those 7 people are very, very busy. So we do need more resources to help in that space.
So do you think coaching is the key rather than facilities?
I think it's a combination of both, and I think we've seen a really strong strategy by government to improve the sporting facilities and infrastructure on the island of Ireland. There's currently open a large-scale sports infrastructural fund with 120 million, so we will be making an application to that. And this week, actually, it's got to be in by Monday. So we're promoting a couple of large projects, but we've been inundated by projects from the athletics community because of the demand for facilities. But there has been that steady incremental increase in investment. Yeah.
Well, we have seen, just from my own point of view, new tracks and the likes of fantastic facilities in Dundrum, in Kilboggan has just opened now, in South Dublin too. Cork, they've had some difficulties with the Mardyke track. We know that's been in the news as well. Are we playing a little bit of catch-up, do you think, when it comes to facilities and access?
Definitely, we're playing catch-up, but you know, again, talking about Rome wasn't built in a day. But using Cork as an example, I know there's been an issue with the Mardyke track, which will be resurfaced. The new MTU track is open this week, actually. It's just finished. But there's also a number of other projects. Bandon Athletics Club have a new track going in. Carrigaline are working on a new track. Mallow are working on a new track. So there's a lot of developments coming on stream.
You did mention new sponsorship coming in 2025. Has the success on track been reflected by more inquiries from the corporate side regarding sponsorships, partnerships, etc.?
Yeah, definitely. Look, the sponsor, which hasn't been announced yet, which is a big one coming on board from the 1st of January, certainly was a function of the rising tide in Irish athletics and the international exposure we're developing. So yeah, there's a lot of interest, and I think, look, the country's doing really well commercially and businesses are doing well, so there's lots of opportunities. And look, I was in the office just before I came down here. There was another couple of inquiries there on the desk as well, which is great. So it's, yeah, very exciting.
We're sitting here at Morton Stadium, the venue for the National Championships this weekend. The viewing figures don't seem to be comparable for the National Championships when we look at what happened in Budapest, Glasgow and in Rome. How do we change that?
I'm hoping that people are going to turn out in numbers this week. Look, all the stars are here. We have had no one cry off through injury or unavailability at this stage, so it's an opportunity for the Irish public in their backyard to come down and see these international world-class level athletes. And believe me, when you see them run or throw or jump, they're very, very impressive. And so we're trying to leverage that at the moment. We're encouraging people to come along. We've invited a lot of people along. So look, the capacity here has never, we've never got near capacity yet at filling Morton Stadium. We'd love to see it full up and the cameras zooming around the audience. So let's use this messaging to come along, guys. Yeah.
Well, this place has been the home of Irish track and field for a long time. And in saying that it's a long time, is it somewhere that needs to be updated and more resources put towards to make it, I suppose, a modern facility?
Yeah. So, no, just by way of background, look, the facility is owned by Fingal County Council, managed by DCU, and we have a great relationship with both parties. So you see there's a brand new track here, we're sitting inside, there's a new gym, new indoor training area here, and we do have plans to do more. So we have an application going in this week to government for funding to support the further development of the facility. Yeah.
And just looking ahead to the future, even say the next decades, would it be in your plans maybe to have a purpose-built facility, an Athletics Ireland track, not necessarily in Dublin, maybe in the Midlands somewhere where maybe it's a little bit cheaper, but would that be the aim, to get a proper modern facility? We saw what was out in Budapest, a small compact stadium that was going to be reduced after the championships to I think around 20,000. The atmosphere out there was incredible. To have something like that in Ireland, would that be an aim for the future?
Do you know what, I think one of our challenges here in terms of hosting international events, especially track and field, is the weather. And we've got to be realistic. Even our own Paris is effectively a home Olympics, but we have had to book a camp in Paris for the athletes to acclimatise. And we have to be realistic in that the 20 degrees summer temperatures here are just too far away from the 30, 35 to even 40 degree temperatures that we require to run a week of track and field. So that is a big challenge for us, So, yep, indoor facilities are important as well because we don't have the outdoor climate, but and we're working on that as well.
Okay.
Yep.
And I suppose for Athletics Ireland itself, what other plans are in the future to try and kick off the back of this success we're seeing out on the track?
No, look, we're riding the crest of a wave, there's no doubt about it, in terms of the success of our international athletes. But I think that's underpinned by our strategic plan, which is focused on growing our membership. We've got a record membership that's been growing every year, before COVID and post-COVID. So we'll hit around 70,000 members this year. So we're a big sport. Couple that with the medals, couple that with strong financials. We're in a strong financial position. As I alluded to, there's more sponsors coming on board. Sport Ireland are investing in us. They trust and believe in us because we're delivering as well. And we're telling a good story. So those are the 4 M's that I work on as a CEO. It's around marketing, membership, medals, and money. And I think those 4 M's are really, really important and to the core business, and we're doing well in those 4.
And just a couple to finish on, and just when we're talking about the weather there, and we look at maybe the UK as a comparable one. I've been to a Diamond League event many years in Crystal Palace before they had the Olympic Stadium. It was almost a washout that night. Yeah. Still went ahead. Birmingham hosts events. Is that not the sort of thing that we could possibly be looking at? Yes, the weather is a problem, but
Yeah, definitely. Look, there's no reason why we can't host those bigger one-day events. And look, Cork City Sports coming and Morton Games coming up in a few weeks. Again, it'll be fantastic events. And the next stage, they're bronze level events. There's a silver and then a gold. And, bronze is the first step, and I'm sure we'll get to silver and then hopefully gold.
And just, is there something then maybe when we're looking at facilities, do you feel that more work needs to be done between organisations to work together, other sporting bodies like the FAI, like the GAA, to kind of come together, because we are such a small country, that it can't be sport specific? Maybe we have to share and work together so everybody gets the benefits.
Agree completely. We should have municipal stadiums. It's I think the days have gone where each sport has their own individual facility. It should be one centralised facility and we all share. Look, we're all big enough and mature enough to get on with each other and work it out if there is any date clashes, etc. There's always a way around it. So I'd be very supportive of that, and I think government have recognised that as well. And a lot of the conditions and strands around these new grants are working together, and that's really important too.
And I know obviously you're out seeing a lot of athletes as well. We see this kind of golden crop at the moment, but from your own experience, are you seeing more younger talent coming through? We know the clubs are full. It can only hopefully lead to one thing.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, look, we have a really strong pathway program, and there's some really exciting talent. You'll see it this summer with the under 20s, and hopefully there's more medals there. Elizabeth and Duty, Reese Adamola, jumpers, and but even some of the talent that you saw on display in Rome is very young. Sarah Healy, young athlete, Sophie O'Sullivan. So really exciting time.